TG Geeks, episode 36, August 31st, 2015. How did we release a show from a cruise ship? Hello and welcome to another webcast from tggeeks.com, where Ben and Keith, the Two Gay Geeks, talk about all aspects of geekdom and nerdery, sci-fi, comics, film, horror genre, you name it, we talk about it. I'm Keith Lane, and we're here in TG Squared Studios, but we're actually on a cruise ship when this releases.
You stole my thunder.
Oh,
because
I'm my thunder.
I'm Ben Raggington, and I'm on the deck of the Disney Dream right now.
Yeah, we are.
Because that's where we're going to be when this comes out.
Exactly.
You stole... Oh, darn it. Oh, well.
You
okay.
stole my
You
thunder.
stole my thunder.
Someone left the shower running.
Stop all the clacking.
All right.
Oh, that could only mean one thing.
What could that mean?
Well, given that Doctor Who season is literally around the corner, we thought we would have a little discussion about it. And I want to give a backstory on this. Keith, you and I, we'd gone out to dinner a week or so ago, and while we're having dinner, we just spontaneously broke into a Doctor Who conversation.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, at one point, you looked at me like, we really should be recording this.
Yeah, because we were talking about Doctor Who and how we feel about the current season versus the old Doctor Who, and yada, yada, yada. And that's kind of what we thought we would just try to recreate that. And,
now,
go ahead.
I was going to say, now we've both watched, there are two trailers that are out now.
Yep.
For upcoming season 9. And they're both available on YouTube for anybody who wants to see them. It's trailer 1 and trailer 2.
Trailer 1 and trailer 2.
And we've just watched both of them. Now, a lot of what was on your mind stemmed from what you had seen in these trailers. Specifically, I think it was the second trailer that really got your goat.
Well, two things. Number one, in the first trailer, he says, "I am the Doctor and I save people."
Right.
Trailer number 2 says, "It's the Doctor and Clara Oswald in the TARDIS."
Right.
And I thought, okay, it's more of that feeling that the companions are there to save the day. This is, what's the name of the show?
It's called Doctor Who. It's not insert
Doctor
the name
Who.
of the companion here.
Exactly. And that's been my whole problem with the new Doctor, is that the companion seems to take a little more precedent over the Doctor, whereas I don't mind the companion having heroic moments and, come to save the day, but not when it's every single time. And
No.
Clara has become more powerful than the Doctor. The Doctor seems to be this kind of bumbling idiot sometimes.
Well, it's gone further than that. I was just reminded of an episode with David Tennant, and it was during that time where I think they were called minimal Doctor episodes, in which the Doctor himself is very, very, you see very little of him. And the episode was more about Donna Noble, and it was called Left Turn.
Right.
And it's how she made a key decision by making a left turn instead of a right turn. She missed an opportunity to meet the man who was going to become her fiancé, which then subsequently led her to meeting the Doctor.
Yeah, but I didn't really, that episode was a good episode because I happen to like Donna.
Well, that's you.
That's
that's two of us.
As a character.
That's two of us. Everybody seems to hate her.
So I don't like where Clara has gone, where they have written her.
Well, I know.
And I have to reiterate for the 1,000th time, it's not the actress. It is the way they've written her character.
Right.
I love the actress, and I love the way she portrays what she's supposed to do. I just don't like the way they've written Clara, and it all really fell apart when who is this person? Who is the Doctor? You
Right.
know? And you're supposed to be the impossible girl that knows all the incarnations of the Doctor.
Yeah.
Anyway,
As far as the importance of the companion goes, I'm reminded of, again, in Left Turn, one of the key moments that we see in the episode The Runaway Bride, when we first meet Donna, is she stops the Doctor from going too far in killing, the adversary of the week.
right.
And because she was there, she convinced the Doctor just in time to get off the ship where this final confrontation was taking place. In Left Turn, she's not on board that ship. Timeline has been changed. So the Doctor went way too far and ended up dying as a result of it. So now, all of a sudden, we really get more emphasis on the companion. And you're right. I didn't think it went too far.
No.
It was kind of okay, but still.
Yeah, because Donna was Donna.
Yeah.
And yeah, she had her heroic moments. And I don't have a problem with the companions having heroic moments periodically. But when it's every single episode,
right.
It's the companion that saves the day.
Right. I mean, we saw that again, or I shouldn't say again, but we saw it originally in the episode Rose. The very first reboot, I don't want to call it a reboot because it's not a reboot, it's a return of Doctor Who. And who is it that actually saves the day and defeats the Nestine consciousness? It's not the Doctor, it was Rose who did it.
Right.
The Doctor just happened to be there, but Rose was the one who really had all the heroic moments. And we kind of see that over and over and over and over again. And it started with Russell T Davies. Moffat has emphasized it even more by saying, I really want to make this about the companions because, and granted, I get it. In the classic series, the companions sort of got kind of stiffed a little bit. They were reduced to simply saying, oh, gee, Doctor, what is it? Because they were considered to be too stupid to understand what was going on.
But, if we go back to, and we just watched an episode where the Keeper of Traken, and yes, Adric and Nyssa, where Nyssa is introduced, they have a lot to do with the story and resolving things in the story. And it was that combination of Nyssa and Adric, and then, of course, Tegan was there as the
she became
the comic relief.
Well, she became what is a Doctor?
Exactly,
but with an Aussie accent.
Exactly. So there was a combination of the companions helping, but it's the Doctor that ultimately resolves the big mystery, or the saves the day, if you will.
Right.
So I think that was a good combination during that era.
It was a good combination. It showed that it could work, and I maintain that maybe that's the direction Doctor Who should be going. Now, as far as Clara goes, what really bothered me, again, about her, and you nailed it, is I really hated the way she was portrayed as this person who just didn't understand who the Doctor was. We had a year's worth of the most ridiculous angst between these two people that just made me want to scream at the television because, as I've said a dozen times over, if anybody should know the Doctor, know him better than anybody else, know him better than himself, it should be Clara.
Exactly.
Because she's been through every single incarnation of the Doctor's life, and just because the Doctor has been given a brand new life cycle, compliments of the Time Lords who are now who knows where, the Doctor's core characterizations, those things that define who he is, those core elements are going to be there. We see them. All you got to do is look at every single episode of Doctor Who, or at least sample a few from every regeneration. So he's got in one episode or one regeneration, he's sort of a doddering old man. In another one, he's sort of like a Pied Piper with a flute. And another one, he's a dashing hero to the rescue. You've got these different nuances, but the core of the character is still there in every single one of them. And Clara should never have had any doubt.
Yeah. And the whole "am I a good man" thing.
No.
That combined with Clara and her angst about the Doctor. The question when he said, "Am I a good man?"
She should have answered
immediately. She should have said yes.
Absolutely. I don't have a problem with the Doctor asking the question.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that.
It was that whole thing, but then that kind of set up the whole year of angst, if you will.
Well, and I think what also harmed, I mean, if you want to actually look at characterizations and actually see, dive really into the Doctor Who universe, by Clara saying, I don't know, to that question, man, that kind of puts the Doctor on a really bad psychological trip, because I think then all of his identity issues stemmed from this. Well, she doesn't know if I'm a good man.
Yeah.
I mean, he knew enough to say, okay, she's been with me. I sort of trust her. She's my companion. She's been around. I mean, he knew that she had been with him prior to his regeneration. He figured we gather that from the end of the very first episode with him, Deep Breath. So he trusts her.
Yep.
And she betrays that trust by saying, I don't know. And that made me so unbelievably angry.
Yep.
And it just sends the Doctor down this really bad path, which he doesn't sort of come out of until the end of this last season. And to be honest, I don't like the way he came out of that either, where he comes out and says, am I a good man? No. Am I a bad man? No. What am I? I'm a crazy man with the blue box. Okay, I'll give him that last part.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Crazy Man with the blue box, but
but to say that he's not a good man,
and maybe that's what this phrase "I am the Doctor and I save people." You know, God forbid that's the last episode of the season that he says
I'll be
that,
livid.
You know, but he should say that in the first episode, and that's where I think it needs to redeem is I am the Doctor and I save people.
Yes.
And yeah, it can be the Doctor and Clara in the blue box, but it's got to be the Doctor saving people. And
I agree.
I'm given the two trailers, I'm not quite as adamant about not watching. I'll probably watch. Of course I will. I've been watching for 30 years.
Yeah.
So.
I have to watch. So you're going to be sitting next to me.
Well, of course.
That's all there is to it.
So, but I hope they do redeem themselves. I hope that maybe they've changed the way that they're writing Clara. I don't know. We'll see.
I would say that the one line where the Doctor says, I save people. Because I remember when I saw that trailer, when I was about to watch it, I went into it with enormous trepidation. And when I heard that line, I save people, I actually had a sense of hope.
Yep. Absolutely.
Maybe we were actually beginning to return to the idea that the Doctor is out there to help people.
Yep.
And that's the Doctor that we grew up with.
Exactly. So I have hopes. I won't say high hopes. I do have hopes.
I'm not going to this
for this new season.
Yeah, I'm not going to this with a sense of despair like I did.
Looks like some, the Daleks are back, and the
Zygons,
and a couple of new, looks like a dragon, and maybe what is this kind of Game of Thrones mashup with Doctor Who? And going on here,
we do know
with
that
dragon and Maisie. What Maisie?
I can't remember her last name.
Williams.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, how she's going to be in this?
Yeah,
of course, that's the big topic right now.
Who is that?
Who is that?
Susan? Or is that somebody else?
What irks me is Moffat apparently has come out and said, "You don't know who she is. The Doctor knows who she is, but you don't know who she is." But I have a response to that. Stephen Moffat is just like the way he has the Doctor characterized. He always lies. Yeah. So I have a funny feeling that not only is this somebody the Doctor knows, but it's somebody that we're intimately, or at least at one point, we're intimately familiar with.
Yeah, I'm sure. So as I said, I have hopes for this season. We'll see where it goes.
Now, there was a lot of dialogue and discussion going on that just practically burned the internet down to the ground when the trailer came out. Lots of breakdowns, and there was one that just really set me off, and there was no confirmation of this. This was just simply a fan rumor. The scary part is that the person who leaked the rumor has been very reliable with past Doctor Who rumors, so I'm very, very scared. But in the second trailer, there is a clip of this booth. We don't see much of it. We just do this pan over, just quick look at it. And there is a rumor that this is going to be an episode that sees the Doctor killing a very young Davros.
No, we talked about that.
I'm
too,
sorry.
And
No.
No.
That
Zero. No.
absolutely not.
I will stop watching.
That
I will stop watching if they do that.
That runs totally contrary
to I am the Doctor and I save people, and his morals, because Genesis of the Daleks.
Thank you.
I mean, that he could have stopped the Daleks. He did not.
He
So
chose not to.
And for him to kill a young Davros, no.
I mean,
I will stop watching if he does that.
Even Sarah, at that point, says, these are you have to destroy them. You have to follow your, go through with what the Time Lords ordered you to do. And he said, but would that make me any better than them?
Exactly.
He said, if you had known a child was going to grow up to be the most murderous, ruthless person in the universe, could you kill that child? Sarah doesn't even answer the question. She dodges it, because if she were forced to answer it, she would have had to have said no. So for all of a sudden the Doctor now to take on this position of being able to kill Davros. Now, there is one line from earlier last season that just came to the front of my memory, and that was the episode Into the Dalek, I believe it was called, and it tells the Doctor, "You are a good Dalek." So I have to wonder if just that little seed is going to somehow play into this overall who knows what.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm very nervous about it. I don't know. I mean, Daleks again. I understand that they're the most popular villainy race in Doctor Who fandom, but is it just me? I think a little Dalek goes a very, very long way.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that there should be other villains that really need a chance at being portrayed in the truly terrifying manner that they could be. The Cybermen have yet to get their due.
Yeah. Well, they sort of did in the last one. Where they,
but that was such
episode.
A little bit, but I don't know. I keep coming back to, and I had this discussion with Mike Kickerson back on the Slice of Sci-Fi days, and we really kind of went. Actually, we didn't go round and round on this. We were actually in total agreement on it, and we were reviewing the Troughton episode, Tomb of the Cybermen, which to anybody who watches it, I would say that has got to be the scariest Cybermen episode ever filmed. It is at times terrifying. You get a real sense of the whole zombie nature of who the Cybermen are. And I know we had repeated discussions about that on later episodes of Slice. And what's bothered me is that I've never felt like the Cybermen have really had that chance to show how truly scary they are, how their upgrades, what that really does to people. I mean, we got a little bit of it in a David Tennant episode, but not enough. And that was also in an alternate universe, so I really don't even count that.
Yeah.
So I feel that maybe they need a chance to kind of really shine. Something else that we've got to look forward to, we got the Zygons coming back.
Right.
Who I find a little disgusting.
They are.
They're kind of gross. And, of course, wherever the Zygons go, Oswin goes. Not Oswin, but you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Her. Her name, I can't believe her name.
Out of my brain.
Osgood.
Osgood, yes. So,
yeah.
It'll be interesting to see where the season goes.
I'm excited to see Osgood again, but...
At what expense?
Yeah, at what expense? Because we already believe this to be the Zygon Osgood. Does she remember that she's a Zygon because she forgot during the anniversary special, that was the Day of the Doctor, she completely forgot that she was a Zygon. Compliments of Doctors Tennant and Smith. So,
well, the Doctor can do anything. He has a magic wand.
Well, he does have a magic wand. Yes, he does.
Does Don't get me started on that.
No. I swear, if one of these days the doctor pulls out his sonic screwdriver and yells out Avada Kedavra, I'm done.
Yeah.
I will be so done.
That's what's going to happen with Davros, and it's going to backfire.
Oh, he's going to yell Avada Kedavra. And then Davros becomes the... Oh, no. Davros is Harry Potter?
Oh, my God.
Well, that's why he's got that stock, that eye stock over his head to show. It's to hide the lightning bolt scar.
Exactly.
Boy, did we just cross streams right there.
Oh, Lord. I think we better stop.
Yeah, I mean, is there anything else about the Doctor Who season that you're concerned about?
No, that's pretty much it. And Doctor Who returns September 19th on, was it BBC One?
It would be BBC One.
And BBC America.
And BBC America. In fact, I dare say, starting a couple years ago, it just began to premiere all over the world simultaneously. I mean, not literally at the same time, but on the same day.
On the same
And we will have the enormous pleasure of watching it on BBC One.
Yes.
Yeah, but we won't we will not post any spoilers, but boy, are we going to tease the fact that we're going to see it ahead of time before most of our American friends.
So we have an option there.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
That's all I have to say on that.
All right.
You don't need to hear their identification. They're the Two Gay Geeks. They can go about their business. Move along.
And here are a few selected birthdays for August 31st through September 6th. August 31st, James Coburn would have been 87. He died in 2002. We were talking about that when I put that. It's like, it's been that long
It's
ago?
been that long, yeah, because the last thing he did, if I'm not mistaken, was Monsters Incorporated.
Yeah, and it's like, my Lord.
Well, he went out on a high. I mean, I think having your final role being Water News, man, I couldn't ask for better.
That was really cool. Also on August 31st is Itzhak Perlman. He's 69. And I've told you, I met Itzhak Perlman when I was like 12. That was a long time ago.
And we had the pleasure of seeing him perform up in Sun City, and the man is truly beyond brilliant as a violinist.
Yes. September 1st, Lily Tomlin is 75.
And that's the truth.
And Yvonne DiCarlo, Mrs. Munster, would have been 92. That's Frank's aunt, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. Frank DiCarlo.
Frank DiCarlo.
Yep. Bern Gorman is 40 on September 1st, and Edgar Rice Burroughs was born in 1875. September 2nd, Mark Harmon is 63. Salma Hayek is 48. Keanu Reeves is 50.
Whoa.
And Guy Laliberté is 55.
I wonder how many people know who he is.
Well,
Cirque du Soleil.
Yes, there you go. Absolutely. And on September 2nd, Krista McAuliffe would have been 66. Unfortunately, she perished in the Challenger accident in January of 1986. And she was on that Challenger. She was a teacher. She would have been the first teacher in space. She won that spot in a lottery drawing that they were doing. So, happy birthday. September 3rd, Garrett Hedlund is 30.
Hubba.
Exactly. And he's a resident of Phoenix, or was a resident.
What?
Was a resident of Phoenix. He grew up in Scottsdale.
No kidding. I didn't know that.
Yes.
Oh, far out.
I thought you knew that.
No, I did not know that. That's awesome.
And I have a little typo here, but I'm not going to say that. Kitty Carlisle Hart would have been 104. Kitty Carlisle. Oh, my God. She had two careers.
She did. She did. A very short-lived opera career and then an extended career on What's My Line.
Exactly.
In fact, there is a classic episode of What's My Line where she spits some food out when she realizes what it is that she's eating. It is the funniest thing out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hate to say it, but that's what we're going to remember her for.
And she died when she was 96, so it was 8 years ago. She was still going strong.
She really was.
So, Kitty Carlisle, happy birthday. September 4th, Dick York would have been 85.
The original Darren.
September 5th, Freddie Mercury would have been 69. That was his favorite position.
Oh, boy. I was going to say something serious there.
Oh, well, go ahead.
I was just going to say how much I really miss that man's voice. I consider myself very lucky in that I got to see the original Queen's last or second to the last ever U.S. performance.
Wow.
And that was in Oakland, California, because the original four, never came back to the United States after that.
Wow. Too bad.
Yeah.
But, miss Freddie. Yep. Made some good music.
Great music.
September 5th also is Bob Newhart is 85. And George Lazenby is 75.
He's still alive. I'm sorry, that's a terrible thing to say.
No, I didn't. I thought he was much older. He was the original James Bond, the very first James Bond, in Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Ooh, did that actually come out before Sean Connery?
I think it did. I think it
Well, because I know that he... no, I think he actually came out between Sean Connery and Roger Moore. We'll have to check on that. Fans, let us know.
No, I remember seeing that at the drive-in, and yeah. So, I think, anyway, let us know if we're wrong. Also, September 5th, Michael Keaton is 63, and Daryl Zanuck was born in 1902. September 6th, Idris Elba is 42. Roger Waters is 71.
And he's still tearing that wall down.
He still is tearing the wall down. And Joanne Worley is
Melons!
77. Yes, melons. They were so ahead of their... My God.
Man, laughing at that day.
Oh, my Lord.
Talk about cutting edge, and Joanne Worley was just at the front of that.
Absolutely. And I love the old man. He always said, cock-a-doodle-boo-boo. So, anyway, and the Marquis de Lafayette was born in 1757 on September 6th.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Forget about whether Han shot first. He did. Is it true that Han Solo teamed up with a 6-foot green rabbit? Did Darth Vader profess a devotion to the immortal gods of the Sith? And did Leia's unhealthy attraction to her brother grow for years? Ew. Hi, I'm voice actor Michael Corley, and I want to answer these questions and more on the VoxBox Star Wars comic book podcast. Each VoxBox episode covers classic Star Wars comics, starting with the original Marvel series in 1977 all the way to the present day. So tune in, have some fun, and may the Force be with you at VoxBoxPodcast.com.
Go give a listen to our friends over at VoxBox Star Wars Podcast. And now, what time is it?
Listener
It is
feedback?
Time for listener feedback.
Well, I got a little bit of feedback here, mostly from Crazy Joe. We had posted a story about how Christopher Yost had been hired to pen the upcoming Masters of the Universe movie. And Christopher Yost is also the screenwriter for the upcoming Thor movie, Ragnarok. Now, Joe, who sometimes has got the driest sense of humor, so I can never tell when he's actually yanking my chain or not, I had posted that it had to have been better than the Dolph Lundgren, Frank Langella thing out of the 80s, which I will go on record and say I just really did not like all that much. And his response to that was, "Oh, come on! That Lundgren movie is a classic." Christine, his wife, and I have the Drew Struzan poster for it hanging in our upstairs hallway. In fact, watching the Blu-ray of it was on our very first date.
Oh, my.
Yeah, but he did get a little serious after that, and he said that he was actually kind of upset at the fact that Christopher Yost had been brought in. He said that Jeff Wadlow wrote the last draft of the script and wanted to direct it, and Joe said he was very much on board with the vision. He writes, "I didn't read his script, but he was a guest on Masters Cast podcast discussing his ideas and his vision. He got it. He had such a grasp of these characters and what the right tone for the movie was. As a listener, I was instantly sold, and so were the hosts of Masters Cast." Now, obviously, I didn't read his script, so no one can say, well, if the studio passed, maybe it wasn't that good. Yeah, maybe. But I don't have faith that Sony Pictures has a better understanding of He-Man than a long-time, lifelong fan like Wadlow. I sure hope that Yost knocks it out of the park, but I was totally on board with Team Wadlow. And then also, Christine, Joe's wife, simply chimes in, well, where's my She-Ra? Princess of Power movie. That's what I want. And Joe comes back with exactly. Masters of the Universe is an ideal franchise for building a shared universe, as is all the rage these days. Start with the Masters, then introduce She-Ra and make a spin-off movie, and you have 2 franchises. Then maybe do the prequel about Preternia, maybe Hero, son of He-Man. Lots of room for world building and a shared universe. Now, I'm going to go on board and say, you know what? I think you're onto something, Joe. I like that idea.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it would be... I like the idea of them actually doing a new Masters of the Universe, because I don't see how you can actually build off of what the Lundgren-Langella thing is. It's a very interesting slice of the 80s in terms of cinema, but to me, I just could not connect it to the cartoon franchise, which, I hate to say it, I actually watched and found very enjoyable. Both that and She-Ra were at times very, very funny. Plus, they had some really good fantasy elements to it. So I had a hard time with the movie, as I think a lot of fans did. Now, maybe with this new one that Yost is doing, maybe we might be able to see that franchise building, and I would be totally on board with that. We'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, on that last comment, Joe and Christine, I'm totally in agreement with you. Now, I do also want to say that since we're going to be on vacation when this episode comes out, that any feedback that comes in for either this episode or our previous one, episode 35, we will address it. We'll take a good look at it, and we'll respond to it in our next show, episode 37.
Yes. So, let's see. Where was I? There we go. Sorry. Thank you, Joe, for your feedback, as always. And if you like our show, or even if you dislike it, you can comment on our Facebook page, YouTube episodes, or at tggeeks.com, and you could receive a shout-out on a future episode. Or you can call our listener feedback line, and we'll play your comment on air, 469-TG-Geeks. That is 469-844-3357.
This is Mark Biaggi, and you're listening to TG Geeks Webcast. Get your geek on.
And that is, we've got a couple of things that we want to talk about. Actually, we talked about it last week, Neighbors from Hell movie.
Yes.
That is starring Colin Baker and Suzanne Shaw, directed by James Eves. Now, since we did that episode, we've updated our article that we did on Neighbors from Hell, because Jim sent me a synopsis.
So that means people go to the website, tggeeks.com, and look for that posting. It's not that old. You shouldn't have to scroll down very far, but you'll find the update.
We'll also have a link in this episode, the article for this episode down below. So the synopsis is, for Neighbors from Hell, on the brink of a divorce from his wife Joanna, selfish slob Simon Fisher reluctantly agrees to attend a Halloween supper with his snobby next-door neighbors, Phil and Pam. When Simon and Joanna arrive, they meet the fifth guest, a mysterious old man. The stranger is, in fact, a demon. I wonder if that's Colin Baker.
Maybe?
Intent on imprisoning them in the house until midnight, when he will decide which one of them to possess for the next 100 years.
Oh, God, it's Hotel California.
Yeah. A horror comedy that plays on the prejudices we have for the people next door.
Oh, now that's interesting. A horror comedy that plays on the prejudices. So are we going for yet another horror, except this time in the terms of in form of a comedy?
Yep.
That's going to have a message?
Exactly.
Wow.
So go take a look at that. And also in the article, it's got Twitter feed, Facebook page, etc. for Neighbors from Hell. So go check it out. We're excited to see it. They're in post-production now. I think he's actually doing the editing at this point.
Oh, far out.
So hopefully soon we'll have something about that. It's supposed to be a film, so it's not a short. I think it's probably between a short and a...
Somewhere in between a short and a full-length
feature. Yeah.
Interesting.
So we'll see. Could be interesting. I'm excited about it.
I am
actually.
too.
And also, last week we talked about Conditioning, a movie that is in the pre-production phase from two gentlemen, Joe Capella and Phil
Pugh.
Phil Pugh, and it is a horror film.
Very serious horror
A
film.
very serious horror film with a message. It has some LGBT themes, and we will point to that article in this article for this episode as well. Go take a look at it. They've got a really nice synopsis and background and subtext for that film. So go take a look at that. And they've got also the Twitter.
Yeah, the Twitter is at Conditioning UK.
Yep.
And Joe Capella's his Twitter account is at World of Capella, and that's CAPELLA. And Phil Pugh's Twitter is at Film PHILM _maker.
Yep. And then we'll take a look at that, and we'll put the link in our article here.
Yeah, and also want to point out that be sure to check our website for the official kickoff date, which will be September 2nd, of the Dub Smash War between Team Shield and Team Carter.
To the death!
To the death! Vote
Yes.
multiple times.
Yes, and it's for a good cause. They're going to donate money to two charitable foundations. One is Stomp Out Bullying, and the other one is St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Excellent causes, both
Yep.
of them.
So we'll have an article on September 2nd on our website that will point you to that Dub Smash War.
Yeah. Now, we got to bring up once again, and please forgive us, the BTI Kickstarter campaign. Now, I'm sure that some of you are probably wondering, oh, you're talking about BTI again. Well, yeah, but we have a very, very good reason for doing so. Having interviewed virtually everybody who's involved in that,
Yep.
Keith and I can both attest to the fact that these are, and I am not just saying this, I mean this with all seriousness, these are some of the most awesome people I've ever met.
They actually are. They're very, very good people. Jeff Patton, who is the director and creative genius behind Beyond the Impact, is just a wonderful human being, and his wife is great. Everybody that's involved with the project, they're just great people.
Really good
They're
people. And
fun to be around.
And that's why we're pushing this so hard, because Jeff has a really good, he has a great vision for what he's trying to pull off with Beyond the Origin.
Beyond the Impact.
Beyond the Impact, just Beyond the Origin, Beyond the Impact. Okay.
Beyond the Origin Impact.
Yeah. Okay, there's a blooper for you.
Yeah.
He has a really good vision for Beyond the Impact. And because he's got all these great people that are involved in it, nothing would make me happier than to actually see this vision be fulfilled, because these good people deserve it.
Yep.
They deserve to see this project come to life. They deserve the chance to be filmed. Some of these actors have never, especially the second round of cast that we interviewed, many of them have not stepped in front of a camera yet.
Yep.
For any sort of acting performance. This is their chance. I want
Their
to see them get this chance. I want to see BTI take off and become the franchise that I really believe it has the potential of being.
Yep.
So that's why we keep pushing it. And I'm going to push it till I'm out of breath.
Well, until the Kickstarter's over anyway.
Until the Kickstarter's over, yeah.
And then we'll push the film itself.
Yeah.
Or the Feb series, that is.
The Feb series.
Film/web series.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add to that?
Just check the article for this episode, and there will be a link to the Kickstarter campaign. Please consider contributing.
Yeah.
You can contribute as little as $1.
Yeah. And lastly, I want to give a shout out to the Facebook group, The Gay Geek, for allowing us to post our episodes on their website, and the URL is
Facebook.
Or the Facebook page, I should say. And the URL is facebook.com/groups/thegaygeek. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Up next week, we might just have a few vignettes from our Disney World trip and Caribbean, how do you want to say it? Cruise. So we're actually have an opportunity. I'll take a mic with us and our little thing to plug into the iPhone, and we might record a few things at Disney World with our friends, as well as some things on the cruise ship. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. Because this is going to be a first time for a couple of people.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Okay, that should do it for this episode of TG Geeks Webcast. Be sure to check out the article for this webcast episode. We got several links on the page down below. And remember, you can comment on our Facebook page or our website, tggeeks.com. Or you can leave us a voicemail at 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357. From TG Squared Studios, I am Keith Lane. Thanks for listening. I bid you peace.
Ears, Che.